Our secretary treasurer is away. I'd like to say he's on a little holiday, but he's not. At a rural marathon, and he's competing in the Ironman competition. So aside from our secretary treasurer business, this is an impressive man. And we wish him all the best. So as a result, we need to designate a secretary treasurer for the meeting. And I'm asking that the board support the motion to designate our associate secretary treasurer, Erin Begley, to perform those duties. Jesse Cooney, all those in favor? Moving to adoption of the agenda. Motion by Warren, seconded by Trustee Croft. All those in favor? Motion carried. Moving to minutes of September 6th, 2022, open board meeting. Looking for a motion to adopt. All those in favor? Motion carries. We have no recognition and citations.
Board met in closed session prior to this meeting, and at that meeting, personnel, bargaining, and facility issues were discussed.
Thank you. Moving to item 7, old business action list. On page 11. Is there anything that staff wishes to comment on? Yeah.
Thank you very much. I just want to let the board know that on the first item around preparing a draft anti-racism policy, that we have a date set for the first of the 2 anti-racism policy development group meetings. And so that will occur on October the 12th at 11:30 a.m.
Thank you. And the only other progress is Remembrance Day, and I know to count on our secretary treasurer to have that completed, and the rest are completed. Moving to chair of the board. For information, the first is around our parent organization, the BC School Trustees Association. And at the end of terms, he recognizes trustees for their service to students, to parents, to the community, to staff in their school district. And it's only done once during the term of office. And this year, it is my honor to present certificates and turn pins to each of our trustees on behalf of BCSTA. So I'll start with our first year. 1 year turn pin to Trustee Kemmler and certificate. Sorry. No, I'm going to have to sit through here. Okay. All right. It doesn't mean anything that I am fumbling. You have not fumbled in your first year. Congratulations. Thank you. All right. Next one in the pile, not in alphabetical order, is Elizabeth Fromm. And her award is for 2 terms. Congratulations. And the certificate says, in this case, to Elizabeth Fromm, 79 Hudson Valley, is awarded the certificate of recognition by the BC School Trustees Association in recognition of service to public education and local governance as part of BCSDA's 2022 annual general meeting in Vancouver, BC. Congratulations. Trustee, backwards. You'll have to turn it around. But I know it's 4 terms. Definitely. Congratulations as an award for 4 terms working for students, staff, and community. Thank you. Oh, no. Is a very valuable member here who has served 2 terms with us in the role of trustee. But how many terms in your other government service? You lost count? I think it's, was it 29 years or something? 29 years.
Wow.
Service to kids and staff. Community. Next, oh, it's to me. Oh, exciting. Oh, you. Four terms.
4 terms, so Candace, 4 terms serving children, serving them, I think most of the time as chair, and serving them extraordinary. Congratulations.
Thank you. There are a couple of others here that are not less important. It just happened to be in the pile upside down, probably. All right, trustee Randy Dolan. So much for your service. Term with us. So 8 years serving the kids and staff and community members in our school district. Thank you, Joe. Moving to the second item that is under chair of the board, and that's the SOTI joint statement. And it is attached on page 12 for you. And important that we just recognize that the minister has joined with all the other partners, and the one that's up on the screen is not yet. What is on the board motions is the SOTI joint statement. And this is the statement by Jennifer Whiteside, the Minister of Education and Childcare, along with all of the other educational partners who have made a statement about standing together in solidarity to ensure every school is a place where all students deserve to be welcomed, included, and respected in a safe environment while being fully and completely themselves. Statement also says there's no room for any type of discrimination in our schools, and reiterates that BC's K-12 curriculum includes a focus on valuing diversity and respecting differences, as well as human rights and responses to discrimination. And there it is. Thank you. And I've asked that we put up our community of care pledge because it puts together for us as a board our statement on our school district values that same intent as in the statement from the ministry. And it says the Cowichan Valley School District is an inclusive and respectful organization. We value all races, cultures, faiths, abilities, socioeconomic diversity, sexual orientation, gender identities, and the incredible contributions that these differences bring to our collective well-being. The Cowichan Valley School District fosters healthy, safe, and resilient school communities while supporting everyone in making a positive difference in their lives and the lives of others. And we, as individual trustees on the board, signed that pledge. The pledge to uphold and promote these values, to speak up, to oppose hate in all its forms, and promise to bring culture forward. And I know, I feel very confident that the next board will continue on the same pledges for our schools, for our staff, and for the community. Item 8.1.3, World Teachers Day, October the 5th, which is tomorrow. And we have a day to recognize professionalism and commitment of teachers. And for us, it means also our support staff. Is there anyone, any trustee who's not able to go to their liaison schools tomorrow? Okay, so we will see about covering you. Thank you. And moving on to 8.1.4, National Principals Month in October. The board directed the superintendent and board chair to create a plan to recognize and thank the principals and vice principals for their outstanding leadership in our schools, for students, staff, parents, and the community. If anyone is not able to go out and spend time with your principals or vice principals in your liaison schools before the end of the month, you know, and 1.5, Cowichan Valley Indigenous Day of Learning, September 26th. And we have completed that day in partnership with DPAC. Thank you, DPAC. We hosted the Indigenous Day of Learning in medicine, which was following the event that this board hosted at the BCSTA conference in April. We had speakers, John George, Wayne Charlie, Alexa, Joe, and our own Seampton trustee Ford. We were privileged to listen to the history, the culture, and the language of the Coast Salish speakers in Salmon House. An informal count was taken, and we think that there were approximately 200 people who attended. And we sent a big HICHCA, first of all to Seampton for organizing the event, to the Cowichan Tribes members who supported us as speakers, and to our staff who always see that we are supported behind the scenes and out in front when we ask. So thank you. It was a great day, and I hope the board, the new board, has a look about doing that again. There are a lot of people who are interested in our Indigenous culture and learning more. And I have been going for a long time, and I learn more every time. So I hope it's good for people. The next item is on the local education agreement memorandums of understanding, the celebration, and at the same time, the inaugural meeting of the All Nations Indigenous Education Council, which is our new committee for this board. And we held that event on September 28th, 2022. It was beyond my expectations. All seven, all eight were invited. 7 of the who were able to attend, their chiefs or representatives from the council all gathered. Both of these were historic events for the Board of Education, the school district. First, we have never had all nations, MEA memorandum of understanding. So that's first in the history of the Cowichan Valley School District. The second is we had an historic meeting with representatives from all of the nations in Cowichan Valley School. And I really hope that is carried on. All of the nations were so positive with us. They recognize the importance of us continuing to meet, to hear their thoughts and our thoughts on how we can move to support all students that are particularly Indigenous. Did you want to say anything about either of those events? You were so key in.
First off, I'd like to thank everyone that participated, that helped staff work in the background. And reminding people that we've had the discoveries, now we've gone through grief to work to medicine to healing, to walk side by side. The signing of the LEA was 8 years of hard work, and that's pretty much how long we worked on it. Looking at all of the charter, the UNDRIP, everything else that was needed. And again, the effort put out by this board, this school district, and staff was phenomenal. And we didn't, people look at it and say, I didn't do this alone. There's always a we, there's never an I when you sit at this table. Team, Delacroix, family. And that's what I saw on both occasions. And I take this time to raise my hand to all of you for your work and investment in our Fairfax community, our sacred children. Thank you.
So 8.1.7 is the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation on September 30th. And I saw many of you there, some of us with our drums that we have been gifted, and certainly all of us with our feelings of support for our local people and the tragic events. So just want to thank those people who were able to attend. It was an amazing day, according to either Facebook or the newspaper. It's estimated that 6,000 people attended the walk. That was quite amazing. Okay, moving to 8.1.8, UBCM meeting with Minister Whiteside on September 13th. Superintendent, Secretary Treasurer, and the Chair of the Board. That was the Minister of Education, and all of, well, not all of her staff, but a lot of staff. I would say there were 10 staff from the Minister. We met during the Union of Municipalities Conference this year. Meeting was arranged by the City of Duncan, and their mayor and councilors attended, as well the mayor of the North Cowichan municipality and MLA signed the first canal. The strength of the collaboration of the Cowichan Valley leadership was recognized by the minister. And my message from the board was the importance of funding for our 2 seismic upgrades at Alexander Elementary and Cowichan Elementary School. So we can use the old Cowichan Secondary School as a swimming school. So those students would go to school at the old Cowichan Secondary when our students of the Cowichan Secondary moved to the campus. And the staff seem to understand our plea to fund the district as soon as possible after the new secondary school has our students in it, so that it is not left vacant. I felt it was a really good meeting and a little scary. But apparently I presented us well. It was not a waste of energy. Sure. Okay, 8.1.9, Premier's Awards for Excellence in Education. Last month we learned that we do have a finalist in the Awards for Excellence, and that is our excellent director, Larry Madden. And so just letting you know that the Superintendent, Secretary, Treasurer, and I will accompany Director Madden to Government House, Victoria. Okay, and the last item I have down here is 8.1.10, and it's called Saying Goodbye. I wish I have is for this board. For each one of you, when we started together 8 years ago, I said you were my dream team, and you continued to be the dream team right through. We were collaborative, we were supportive, we were all that is good in a governance board, and I want to thank you for that. I don't know if the other trustees, I think trustee Hutchins would rather not say anything, but you're certainly welcome to, and trustee DeGroot, if you would like to say goodbye.
Say goodbye. I know what you were. I actually, everything that you said, I agree. But I also would like to say that, this has been a learning experience. When I first went on the board, hundreds of years ago, it was, I told people I came to the board because I had questions I wanted to answer, and I wasn't getting them any other way. And after the first 2 terms that I had, I didn't have any answers, but I didn't have a lot of anger. It was the most disruptive group of people that were on the board. And it wasn't about kids, it was about politics. And I didn't fit there. When we came back, that's wonderful. That was, and I know Candace said we worked together. We did. I mean, we didn't always agree. That would be silly. But we did manage to come to really good place. And I'm so happy that there's always people behind me that I say thank you to as well. And I hate to say this, but I taught with some of you. I actually taught some of you. It has been an amazing time. And it's not sad, but it's also it's tough. Thank you all. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I'd like to introduce some new personnel to the district. So 9.1.1, if Debbie Hunter would like to just raising her hand to identify herself. Debbie is our new transportation manager, and she recently moved from Edmonton, Alberta, and she brings over 17 years of experience in the school bus area. And she worked as a transportation manager, our director for the Edmonton Catholic Schools for that period of time. And so she brings a wealth of experience, broad breadth of knowledge, and so we welcome Debbie Hunter.
Thank you very much for the warm welcome. I'm excited to be here, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to be a part of the school district. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to 9.1.2. Again, we'd like to introduce Mary Jo Wilson. Mary Jo Wilson has taken on the role of Health and Safety Manager. And so again, she also comes with a breadth of knowledge and experience. She has worked in the area of health and safety for over 15 years, a regional safety advisor for BCSSA, which is the BC Construction Safety Alliance, extensive experience as an external safety auditor, and we welcome Mary Jo to this position. So welcome, Mary Jo.
This board.
Welcome back, Mary Jo. Thank you. Like coming home in a way. And I'm really, really pleased to be here. And I hope I can talk to everyone. I'm sure you will. Welcome.
Okay, and then moving on to 9.1.3, there's been a few vice principal and assignment shifts and adjustments. So you'll see that there's a list attached, but there has been some temporary personnel changes occurring at Chemainus Elementary, the Grove, Cowichan Secondary, and Coheman Elementary. Ann Kissinger, who is presently the vice principal at the Grove, has been assigned as a temporary principal of Chemainus Elementary. Her position at the Grove as a vice principal will be overseen by Jenny Hittinger, who will provide that dual vice principal service between the Grove as well as Cowichan Secondary. In addition to that, Mark Williams, who is a teacher at Coheman Elementary, he has been assigned a temporary role, replacing Craig McLeod for a brief short period of time at Coheman. And so those new assignments have been attached to this agenda package. And then moving on to board information, 9.2.1. Every year annually, I share with the board where we are around student enrollment. So we do have some updated numbers, probably a few changes that will continue to occur. These numbers are always vetted as of September the 30th, but this is the week, first week of October that we really dive in and make sure that our numbers are absolutely what they need to be. So we're in the throes of that work. And so presently, right now, we are up from previous years by 110 students, mainly at the elementary level. But secondary is the area that we're currently looking at to make sure that we have our accuracy around our numbers. And so we're pleased to say that from the actual enrollment numbers from last year, we are up by 110 students.
Good news, thank you. Trustee Croft?
Someone who doesn't remember the precise figure from last year, so where are we at now?
Through the board, Chair, I would give you the absolute actual numbers right now would be 8,441 children.
Thank you so much.
It's really good news for us.
Okay, and then moving on to 9.2.2. Orange Shirt Week. We had an excellent week. There were so many events that were going on, and I'd like to invite Charlie Coleman, our district principal of Indigenous Education, to share a bit of a slide deck around Orange Shirt Week and Every Child Matters. And so please welcome our district principal of Indigenous Education to share what was happening last week in our schools.
Hi, everybody. Thanks. Just while we're setting this up, we were in here earlier today to make sure the tech was going to work, so I'm praying that it does work. Hopefully, we should have it enable. Hope this works. All right, so as most of you know, we've had Orange Shirt Day for a number of years. In the last couple of years, we've shifted that to be Orange Shirt Week because one day was just not enough for all the amazing things that schools are doing in classrooms and whole school and in their communities. So we now call it Orange Shirt Week. This was an interesting Orange Shirt Week because Monday was our non-instructional day with the Indigenous focus, and Friday was the stat holiday for Truth and Reconciliation. So Orange Shirt Week was crammed into 3 days. Although I think some schools had things spilling over before and after. So you won't see as many schools named in the slideshow because it was just a crazy week. So I got the photos that I could get from the schools that we could get them from. And I'm really hoping this works. The slideshow should work, but the last slide of this is a video from YouTube from Maple Bay. And I didn't see the prompt for enable, so I'm praying that we can get that. All right. And if not, we'll send it out. This is beautiful. So Orange Shirt Week, and you'll just see a selection of the kinds of things that are going on in classrooms and hallways and gyms and outside around the school. Of course, first. And it's a delay, so I'm looking at a different version than you. This is Bench Elementary. If we can hide this, we'll do this. You can see the names of the schools. It's not gonna- okay. If you can't see them, I'll probably remember them. Alexander, some of the activities the kids were doing. Or the activities including salmon demonstration. This That's Discovery Elementary. It does say that up there, but the bar is hiding some of them. Seabog and the Grove. Drinkwater. Drinkwater again. Bonner. Some more Bonner. No, that was Cobble Hill. Let's see, Cobble Hill. And these next three are all from Cowichan Secondary. Variety of different things they were doing there. That's also Cowichan Secondary. Paulson Elementary. Each of those rings on the chain are individual students' work. Provo. So Provo. Coheman. That beautiful new mural. I think you saw the video that Mike presented before with Coheman and all the amazing things they did last year. Also Coheman. And that one on the left is in the garden that we opened last year at Coheman. Often and their amazing view. Some of the kids work often. Venus Elementary for helping me put that together. And I hope what comes across is it's no longer just wear a shirt for the day. It's deep and meaningful and personal learning and reflecting and taking action. Right? So hopefully that's what you got out of that. Thanks for watching. Any questions? That's a good question. I'll ask her. There's Vanessa McDowell from Maple Bay. I'll ask her.
Just want to thank Charlie and his team and the work that he does because, leadership matters here. And I know that there was a lot of work put on behind the scenes to make it all work and roll out in a very tight month of September. And I know that it also continues throughout the rest of the school year as well. So it's deeply embedded, Indigenous education is deeply embedded in the curriculum. And it's something that we know that we need to weave throughout the entire day. So thank you very much. High septa to all of them. All right, move on. I'll talk about foundation skills assessment 9.2.3. Just to remind the board that the administration of the foundation skills assessment is scheduled for October the 10th to November 8th of this school year. It is an annual provincial-wide assessment of all BC students' academic skills in grades 4 and 7. It provides us with good information, good evidence on overall and how well our students are progressing in literacy and numeracy. A letter from my office has been sent out to all grade 4 and 7 parents to speak with regard to what it means to do the assessment and also what it means to exempt your child from that assessment as well. Yes, and so yes, the same parents have heard also from the board chair with regard to the foundation skills assessment. What does it mean? What does it look like? And why does it matter? Thank you. Moving on to 9.2.4, superintendent's update. So many things have gone on around the district, and I want to certainly acknowledge number one, that on September the 26th, our Indigenous focused non-instructional day and also our Indigenous Day of Learning was incredibly organized. And so on that particular day, it was our Indigenous focused non-instructional day that we have to have on an annual basis. But we also know that we like to actually bring a lot of those workshops throughout our entire learning throughout the school year because it is part of our strategic plan. We had Monique Gray-Smith, and she started with Learning with a Light Heart. And so she engaged a number of staff members at Kwame Chimoki the gymnasium. We had 3 staff members or groupings go there from Carleton Secondary School, Kwame and Alexander. And then we also was able to, I guess, create a webinar for the rest of the schools across the school district. So I think it went very well, and I want to congratulate the staff who were able to put that together, because it was certainly magical. We had the Zinqua dancers there. We had Monique Gray-Smith. We started off with our district elder acknowledging our day. And then in the afternoon, we had a number of our staff members who provided excellent workshops. And in fact, I think that one workshop that I wanted to really comment on is that we had a bus tour. And that bus tour was led. We had a number of staff members here who came to this school board office, but they had an excellent tour on that day. But that was just one of many, many workshops that were made available to all staff. So I definitely want to raise my hands to all of the staff who are involved in that, along with some of our guest speakers. Incredible day. And then moving on, we are having the 2023 Weekly Adolescent Health Survey by McCreary. The district will be participating in the 2023 survey. It takes place every 5 years, and it is also used locally, regionally, and nationally, and internationally to understand and support healthy youth development, including changes in youth health over the past 30 years. So we will be participating in that survey. And I do want to let the board know that we're very cognizant and very cautious in the surveys that we actually have in our school district. They have to be meaningful and very important, and the evidence has to be very relevant in order for us to participate in it. You know that kids at times can have too many surveys that come out to them. So we're very cautious about those things that do occur. And then moving on, our fall district-wide assessments will be occurring in the month of October. This is a collection of data intended to use at the class, school, and district level to inform our educators' instruction, as well as maybe how our resources are actually spent. And so we're very pleased because these district assessments have been created by our teachers in this district for our learners. And so we're looking forward to the first year of implementation. And working through some of the bumps as we move along around also maybe our assessment dashboard that we'll have to put that evidence in around. So that's happening this October. Another assessment, and it's really in the form of questionnaire, is our childhood experiences questionnaire. And this is a questionnaire that all of our kindergarten parents will fill out. They fill it out and they provide that to our kindergarten teachers. And it's a way of us understanding our learners when they come into the system. And so we've implemented that this school year and moving forward to inform our kindergarten teachers of how well our students are maybe prepared for our kindergarten classrooms. But it's a way to provide that information from families to our educators at the kindergarten level. And then moving on, I have the great opportunity of having our Alexander Kindergarten Welcome Ceremony. And so we have a bit of our courtyard back here that we put together last year. And that was under the leadership of our teachers at Carleton Secondary. And so it was a great event. It was organized by our Indigenous education staff, along with our counselor, Richard Matthews, working with our Alexander Schools team. And so all of our kindergartners were welcomed from Alexander in our courtyard. Our district elder and knowledge keeper, Dolly Sylvester, welcomed them in a traditional way. And they received a bit of a gift as they walked out there in the courtyard. And I had the great fortune of being able to, shake hands and maybe a few hugs from those kindergartners as they walked through and down to look in their little eye. But it was just a wonderful day, a wonderful welcome to our Alexander kindergarten students. So very impressed with those opportunities and those transitional moments. And then as we continue, because it's been a busy month in the school district, Rotary Reads program. In the past year and a half, Rotary approached our board chair as well as myself around how do we actually bring some readers into the district. And so on September the 22nd, we had a kickoff, And so we had 8 Rotary Read members come into the district, and was led by our district principal of inclusive learning, as well as our coordinator of early learning. They spent about an hour and a half working with our Rotary partners to kick off our Rotary Read programs. And so we're pretty excited to welcome in our Rotary leaders. And so they all had to introduce themselves and why it's important, why they were there. And so we have a wonderful group of volunteers. We want to make this an annual event. And so we'll have some additional experts who know how to read well, who can actually work with our grade 1 and grade 2 learners. And they will be working with the schools, their approach and what maybe some of the materials that they could read to our little learners. So very exciting by the Rotary Club. Moving on, we have on October 29th and 30th at George Bonner Elementary, an annual event, the Garden House Foundation Charity. It's been 14 years in the making, and this charity book sale provides grants to Couch and Family Life, Couch and Women Against Violence, and Duncan and District. And so that's happening on October 29th and 30th, and all of you are invited to that event. Moving on, Terry Fox Run. Many of our district schools participated and held the Terry Fox Run recently to raise money for cancer research. And I'm hopeful that maybe at our next board meeting, maybe in November, I usually like to announce how much money has been raised, but we were not able to acquire that yet this year. And then moving on around health and safety, on October the 20th at 10:20 a.m. Many of our schools will be participating in the Great BC Shakeout Earthquake Drill. And I know that even at a district level, we do that here. And so that will be an event. And it's just great practice for us to become accustomed to doing those drills and being ready at any time to ensure that everyone's safe, all of our kids, staff, and how we actually go through that process. So we will be contributing and doing that again and participating in that drill. Moving on, Tour de Rock, October 3rd to the 5th, the Tour de Rock will be traveling to Chemainus. I saw them this morning. Lake Cowichan, Duncan, Shawnigan, and Mill Bay. And so they are touring around. So they are out there today, the 5th, and riding the bicycles on the October, it happens to be our Foster Family Month in British Columbia. It was first proclaimed by the province in 1990. Some members of our community have been foster parents for many, many years, and some are brand new. All are critically important to the health and safety of our province's most vulnerable children. And we know that that's the work that we do is around our children care. So we recognize and honor these incredible foster care givers in our community and their dedication in improving the lives of those children who need them. And so we want to honor and make comment to the Foster Family Month that is October. October is also Dyslexia Awareness Month. And so this is the 5th annual month, which our schools will recognize in many different ways. There is Dyslexia Canada, and it is Dyslexia Awareness Month virtual launch party Thursday on October 6th. Wearing red as a way to celebrate the Market Red campaign for awareness or using the resources from Dyslexia Canada. And so I encourage you on October 6th to wear red in honor of that particular month. And lastly, just a couple items. I had some great check-ins. I've been to Crofton Elementary. I have been to Cowichan Secondary School. I've also been to Siemens Elementary, and I have great fortune of popping into Kelton Secondary School today. So just want to be able to make my way around and check in on how people are doing with the great startup. And I think that from my perspective, and I think from many of our staff's perspective, it's been a great startup. Albeit a little bit short, very, very challenging to manage some of the events that were happening. But at the same time, we've been able to actually have a great start to the school year.
Half of the board, we're always amazed at the amount of activity that's happening.
Moving on to 9.3.1, there is a board action for the board to consider. And so, you know, in the last couple of years, we have not had traveling outside of our country. And so right now, it appears to be resuming. And so here we have a trip that I put here. It is Francis Kelsey. They are looking to go on a 5-night theatrical experience to a trip to New York City in the United States from March 21st to the 27th of 2023. There will be approximately 15 to 25 students and 3 to 4 supervisors. They will be doing some sightseeing, they will be going to theaters, they will be going to museums. And so the school has fulfilled the requirements of our out-of-country trip as outlined in Administrative Procedure 261, educational trips. And so this is a preliminary approval in principle that is recommended for the board to consider. And as always, there'll be a request for final approval that will be brought to the board 60 days in advance of the trip for that final approval. So you can see here that this is around student travel, that the Board of Education of School District 79 grants approval in principle to the following student trip request. Francis Kelsey Secondary School to New York City, US from March 21st to the 27th.
Thank you. Moving for the motion, trustee Croft and seconded trustee DeGroot. Are there any questions or comments? Okay, mover of the motion first.
Well, I just wanted to point out that it seems very poignant because I believe March 16th, 2020 was when we started our COVID lockdown. And less than a week before that, we did have to cancel a school trip to England. So it just feels like there's closure.
Just wondering why is it in principle and what happens 60 days before the event that makes it different than the knowledge we have now of the trip?
Let me tell you a bit, because we've had a circumstance in the past where they didn't raise sufficient funds to go. And so when it got to finally approving the request, we couldn't do that because there was insufficient funds. But I'll pass to superintendent.
Yes, thank you very much. In addition to fundraising, there's also insurance, there's flights, there's permission forms. All of that has to be put in order before the 60 days so that there's no disappointment, any of those challenges that come into play. And so there's a lot of work to be done. So this is almost an initiative to say now you can move forward, and that's why in principle now you can move forward around all of those details around the trip.
Are there further comments on the motion? I'll call the motion to order then. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Superintendent. Moving to item 10, Secretary Treasurer.
A little bit of a background first. Background. On the 29th earlier this year, the Ministry of Education and Child Care announced that $60 million would be awarded to the Students and Family Development Fund for BC Public Schools. And the press release indicated that school districts and local schools know their student and family communities best. So following that, attached to the package is a briefing note that outlines the consultation carried out on the Student Family Development Fund. All First Nations were consulted, district parent, advisory council, school, students, teachers, principals, and vice principals, to the advisory committee and their education. From that consultation, the following recommendation for distribution is presented. I will note that the base amount for Lake Cowichan School has been spread across the elementary and secondary schools. And the rate change CEVAL to a tier 3 from a tier 2 school.
Is the money just here?
Yes, the 1-year grant.
And so if you have the surplus, what happens with that surplus?
I could refer that to the secretary treasurer.
They're encouraging us not to carry surplus, and I don't think they'll let us carry forward the surplus. They'll probably ask for money. So we're really.
Sure you will.
I think there is an opportunity that we are cognizant as a staff, that if there are any additional monies, that this money needs to be over a 10-month period of time in regard to October, maybe 9 months. And so there is always going to be probably room to move some monies if indeed we had any left at the very end of the school year. And as a reminder that we are just a conduit, we're holding the money and we're transferring it to families and students, and that is the purpose of this fund.
Any further speakers on the motion? All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Item 11, committees and outside organizations. First is highlight September 20th, 2022 advisory committee meeting.
Move towards the ballot and the 2022 advisory committee.
All those in favor? Motion carries. Moving to item 11.2 minutes of September 15th, 2022 feedback meeting. Trustee Cross.
I move that our board accept the draft minutes of the Elgin Valley Pack as they were written September 15th, 2022.
Seconded by Trustee Thorpe. Any conversation on the motion? All those in favor? Motion carries. Moving to item 11.3, provincial council motions. Our provincial council rep, Trustee DeGroot.
I have to look, there are none. If you have any motions, they have to be in the
Comments from you, Trustee? Motions for council. Trustee Thorpe. Mr. Green.
What is green?
Thank you for your support, Trustee Thorpe. Okay, moving on to upcoming meetings and events, and the schedule is attached, page 25. Up on the screen, or yeah. Any comments?
Madam Chair, I believe I was supposed to be at the meeting on October 20th. Trustee will.
That's very unfortunate. Not really big for you. I think that we had agreed that because of the election, before that we would not send a trustee rep to that October 20th meeting. So you get off the hook twice. Thank you. Any comments on the schedule from anyone? Okay. Oh, Trustee Group.
Are we still having board planning on Tuesday night? Yes, we are.
She's not till after that, so you need to follow through. Thank you for your attendance in advance. All right, moving to item 13, correspondence. A motion to receive the correspondence. Trustee Nolan, seconded by all those in favor? Carries. No new business. Moving to item 15, question period. If there's any questions from the audience on items on the. Yes.
Thank you. I just a question of clarification in regards to the Alexander Quamachin school first time. With a grade, or are we looking for full replacement?
No, upgrade.
I was gonna say. I figured as much. I didn't hear the word upgrade, so I just wanted to clarify. Thank you very much. And then just a clarification for if by chance any trustee would like to come to our meeting on October 20th, we are trying to meet in person. I will be finalizing that detail shortly. And thank you so much.
So a trustee could attend,
And it would be a hybrid too.
but the trustee would not represent the board.
But he just might want to. Thank you, though.
Okay, any other questions from the audience? Moving for a motion to adjourn, moved by trustee DeGroot, seconded by trustee Hudson. All in favor? We're adjourned. Thank you.